Hey, what's going on, guys? Patriot Prime here once again with another episode of the SITREP. And my guest tonight, I've gone over the border, the north one, and introducing you to Papa G, the Canadian Santa Claus. Papa G, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing excellent. Thanks for having me. I've been really looking forward to this all week. So I've been dealing with a migraine most of the week, and just I'm behind on putting some video stuff out, and I'm like, at least I got something to look forward to Saturday night. So yep.
And this worked better last week because my last guest, every time we go to do it, something would come up and I had to hit a delay, but this one worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, before we get started, I know you're fairly new to the game. Well, no, you said you've been doing this for about 2 years, right?
Yeah, just I think 2 years, beginning of January, and then I monetized I think a week after. So just over 2 years, so about 2.5 years now on YouTube. So yeah.
Nice. Well, if you want to give my guys a quick heads up about who you are, and then we'll get going. And just to let you know that your channel's link is in the description of this video. Excellent. So if you guys want to follow Papa G, check him out. He's got some great live streams. I was able to hop on one day, and I had a blast just in the chat messing with you.
Yes. Yeah, I know in the questions we'll get down to that part of it, but this is I guess Papa Gord, the Canadian Santa Claus. Those that know who Mike Case is, that's who I am. So I was the weird Canadian guy that was like, can I send you something? Because I really enjoy your content and I'd like to show my appreciation, because prior to that, I had no idea really what YouTube was. I've got an almost 15-year-old, so I'm thinking, oh, it's Minecraft stuff, and I don't know whatever else it is, maybe little kid stuff. So I didn't know there was this whole genre of guys our age talking about our childhood, which apparently is now mainstream.
You just got a sub.
Years later. Oh, thank you very much. That's excellent. So yeah, so I mostly, as most you can see, some of my collection, I'm primarily a Star Wars guy, but I grew up in the 80s. I am 47 years old. I believe you and I are the same age. So
we are.
So you had it was the golden age of cartoons. You had Masters of the Universe, and you had G.I. Joe, and you had Transformers, and Thundercats, and it was sensory overload. So now to see that everything's kind of come full circle again. So yeah, so again, like I said, I primarily do Star Wars reviews. I do a little bit of unboxings here and there. And yeah, my live streams definitely. Every time I say, yeah, we're only going to do a short one, maybe a couple hours, 5.5 hours later, then I'm finally going, okay, guys, I think it's time to call it a day. And then I'll exit out. So
yeah, you never know how these are going to be. I mean, I have one now, and then under the desk is another cold one just in case.
There you go. I just smuggled in some agua, so.
I just saw this. Cato won something. Cato won a Joe tank.
Ooh, excellent, Mr. Cato.
Was it the Mobat? Have they brought the Mobat tank back? Wait for his answer. Remember the Mobat? That was like the first G.I. Joe tank. You push the little turret forward, and it went forward.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I wasn't a huge Joe guy back in the 80s. That was like my fourth line. It was Star Wars, Masters of the Universe, Transformers, and Masters of the Universe were kind of always fought back and forth to 2 and 3. And then Joe was 4, because my neighbor across the street, he had all of it. So if I just wanted to play with the flag, I just hightailed my butt over across the street. We just go play there. So he had more space than I did. So
well, I have a brother a brother and a sister, and we're all 4 years apart. I'm 4 years from my sister. My sister's 4 years from my brother. And so in the 80s, I started off with a couple G.I. Joe things, and I got into Masters of the Universe, and then the Transformers came out. That was all she wrote. And of course, I was into Star Wars too. Of course, that ended by the time Transformers came out. So I was collecting Transformers. My brother was collecting G.I. Joe. My sister was collecting She-Ra.
Nice. Yeah, I loved cross-playing all the time. My sister's 3 years younger than I am, and I remember seeing pictures every once in a while of Luke Skywalker and Chewbacca storming Castle Grayskull to save, I think it was like Strawberry Shortcake from the Centurions or something. So it was always just some big, massive grouping all the time. So
now another cool line my brother had for what he had quite a few of the figures. He didn't have any of the play sets. Was Brave Star. Remember that?
Brave Star, yes, yeah. I think I had a couple, not a lot, but I think I had Brave. I think probably just Brave Star, probably. So Space Cowboy.
With all the hype about diversity, you'd think they'd bring Brave Star back.
You would absolutely think that, yes.
I mean, that was a great show and had good morals to it.
Yep.
Pretty cool villains too.
Yeah, oh, for sure, absolutely. Yep.
Let's see. And one more thing I want you to explain to my viewers, because I know most of my guys are here in the States, and we talked earlier what you're running into with your videos. How you want to be a reviewer, but the way things are in Canada right now, it's a little difficult. So explain to my people why you're not reviewing as much as you'd like to. What you told me when we first started.
Sure, yeah.
You're all shed a tear for this, guys. This is ridiculous what he's going
through. Bad. It is really kind of bad right now. So in Canada, as far as I know, it might just be Ontario right now, which is the province that I live. I'm just outside of Toronto, and we've been in lockdown, so to speak. Like, if you need to go to work, you go to work, you do your thing. But if you can't travel outside of your designated area, like the province actually gave police more power, that if they wanted to pull you over just to double check to see where you were going, I'd always make sure I had my work ID with me all the time. But all the cops were like, you know what? I think we'll pass on this extra power that we really don't need to fall down any of this garbage with this stuff. So if it's non-essential, you can't buy it. I have Walmart across the street, and I can look down the toy aisles because they've put big pallets in the way, but I can look a little bit here. I've never seen toy aisles so full in my entire life, and I can't touch them because you can't buy it. If it's not food or medicine or diapers or whatever, like essential, like, you know, I know they don't consider this stuff essential, but for some people it is. It's very therapeutic. So I can't review things if I can't go out and buy stuff. And then if I have pre-ordered, which is the way I usually go now, because it's turned into such a third-party sellers market lately, or the last couple of years now that this has been more mainstream, that I'm just not willing to pay those prices. So I'll just put a pre-order in, and if it comes in, it comes in eventually. But by that time, sometimes that window of reviewing opportunity is missed. But so right now it's just kind of live streams and, you know, one-offs here and there. So yeah, it is disappointing. They just extended the order by another 2 weeks. So June the 2nd technically is supposed to be when the order is supposed to lift. But
do you guys have, I mean, up there, do you follow the CDC guidelines too? Like, we're finally, you know, if you got your shots, we can tell our masks to kiss our ass. So
yes. So yeah, so that's another thing too. So with our shot, with getting the vaccinations, they have decided that Canadians can go 4 months between both doses. So I had mine about probably a month ago, I guess, almost now, and I don't get mine again until the second dose till mid-August. So it's still, you know, they're not making it mandatory that as soon as I go out the door, I got to put a mask on my face. But as soon as you're going into a store, if you're in a public, like a provincial park or any of that stuff, they've got signs up. Whether or not you use your brain and you cover up to look after yourself and other people, it just depends. So it's disappointing. I took a shot in the face by a guy because I just was frustrated shopping one time, and I'm like, why are the arrows even there? Like, are arrows that difficult to understand? It's a direction. So if I'm walking the way the arrow points, why are you coming down the same way? So I said something one time, guy waited out in the parking lot, said something, and I turned my head and got a little sock in the side a little bit there. So it's just like,
nice.
Whatever. You know what? I got nothing for it. So I'd love things to go back to the way they are. And hopefully with vaccinations and them getting things for kids to finally be able to get their inoculations as well and stuff. So I'm hopeful. So like, good God, I don't know how much longer I could take staying at home so much. So
man. And I thought, like I told you, I thought we had it rough. I had no idea it was like that for you guys.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, and I hate to sound like, like my wife and I, we do like watching our Saturday Night Live and watching, especially the Trump stuff and like the political satire, and just to go and go, man, like the states are banging out those inoculations, like they're just setting pace. And look at us, like a sad little, moose riding sad Canadians drinking our maple syrup, sitting on a log going, yeah, when's it going to be our turn now? Like, this is ridiculous. So you would
And to
think
really rub it in, my state is one of the best ones to get those inoculations out. And we're West Virginia, the hillbillies dating their own cousins. So.
Yep.
Well, enough of the world as it is right now. Let's get to the Transformers. So, guys, if you know how the SITREP works, I have 10 questions for my guest. We're already 10 minutes into the show. The first 5 questions are regarding him as a Transformers collector, and the last 5 regarding you as a YouTuber. So if you are ready to rock and roll, we will do this.
Fire away.
All right. Question number 1. What's the appeal of Transformers for you?
Ooh, again, I think like I touched upon just a few minutes ago, 1984, like Star Wars was done and giant robots that turned into cars and trucks and airplanes and other things was just like, wow, that's so. And I mean, and that includes GoBots as well. I don't know how people take GoBots nowadays, but you know what? It wasn't the best, but it was still something that transformed. It was still something completely out of the norm because it wasn't military or it wasn't space cowboys or any of that stuff. So it piqued my interest. I remember going opening night to see the feature film in the theater with my buddy, and we were probably, besides like the grandparents and the parents, probably the oldest people in there. Everybody else was like 6, 7, whatever. And then when Spike drops his famous curse word in the film, and I remember it clear as day. And then the grandparents covering the kids' ears going, oh my God, this is a cartoon. Why is there swearing in this? And we're going, that was the raddest thing I've ever seen in my life. So it just, I don't know. It was the colors, it was die cast, it was a puzzle. You got 2 modes to play with them. Like it's just ideal toys.
And I think it was the story behind it. That's what's kept me into it for so long, because when they came out, you had Marvel Comics on one hand with their universe, and then you had the cartoon on the other. I can't see my hands. On the other with their universe. And though they were the same, each one was different. So it was so cool just getting all these unique takes on your characters.
Yes.
All right. Question number 2. Aside from G1, which is always the number 1 answer, what is your favorite Transformers fiction?
Okay, so I have to say I barely read any of the comics. I do remember the original Marvel.
I don't think your Wi-Fi is essential.
And they own the run at some point, but there we go. Oh, good God, it's the weather, I tell you, some days. So, yeah, I would say out of like TV, like cartoons and that, probably Prime, and I haven't watched all of it, so I'm really bad because I get into something and then something else kind of jumps in. So I still have to finish Prime. I wasn't a big Beast Wars guy, but I think Prime probably was my second favorite out of any media form for it.
I got Prime. I never really saw it all on TV. I ended up getting Prime. It was like a sale. I got the whole complete Blu-ray series, and that's when I watched it in order. Man, it was sharp.
Yeah. I think Netflix still has it up here in Canada, so my son bugs me all the time. Oh, you should finish watching. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of things I need to finish watching. So.
Kato explained what's going on with your internet right now. The Prime Minister heard you complaining.
Freaking Trudeau and Doug Ford can just go suck on lemons. So that's okay.
All right. Do you have a favorite figure or grail? This is a Transformer figure you will never let go of. Say you guys sell your entire Transformer collection. This one's not going anywhere.
Well, because my Transformer collection is about a dozen pieces, I wouldn't say I have a particular grail right now. Like I said, I'm loving the 86 Studio Series. Had I not come across that Grimlock physically in the store, I probably wouldn't have continued at all. I wouldn't have even started. So maybe Studio Series Grimlock right now. So like I said, I do have a couple of really nice pieces from Mike. So I think eventually I've got a Bruticus, and I can't remember what company made it. So, and I'd be dying to put it out somewhere. I just don't trust the cats or the kids. So
you haven't trained your kids like I've trained mine.
Yeah, they're not bad. They know to respect whatever, but sometimes, like even my wife, she'll come down. She hasn't done it in recently, but she'll come down and she'll move my figures around a little bit. And I'm very OCD, so I'll come down and I'll stare at my collection for hours, going, I think the Stormtrooper's in the wrong place, but all along it's not gone anywhere. So she just gets a laugh out of it on me now. So
I came up here one time. This was before this room is the way it was. I had stuff set up somewhere else, and I walked in, immediately noticed a weapon was missing. And I asked the wife, and she says, yeah, I was cleaning and it fell, and I didn't know which one it went to, so I just laid it on the shelf. How did you? It's like I pinpointed 10 minutes into walking into the room.
Yeah. Oh, geez, it almost gave me a heart attack. I almost thought it turned into carpet fodder.
So as a kid, how many vacuum bags did you have your mom open up to look for weapons she might have sucked up?
Oh, I would say probably on a pretty regular basis. So especially with a lot of the more of the Autobots, I think a lot of the cars, like Prowl and those ones, I think with the extra little blasters were ones I'd lose consistently.
I had so many. No, I didn't use Ziploc bags when I was a kid. I had, I think there were these little Tupperware containers that they look like Tupperware containers that Kleenexes came in or something. Yeah, and that's why I had my bad guy box and my good guy box.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And now, out of my entire collection, I'm only missing one accessory from everything. And that's the Spear to Chop Shop, the Deluxe Insecticon.
Wow.
That is damn near impossible to find for some reason.
Jesus, that's damn near impossible to hear that you're only missing one piece. Holy jumping. That's excellent.
Now, I'm one of these guys, when I would buy a G1 or something, I would either buy it complete, or once I bought it, it was like my mission in life to make sure I completed it as soon as possible, because my OCD kicked in. That's like, which one drove me nuts? Yeah, I decided to piece together a Triptychon right before he started getting reissued, but I have 2 original Triptychons because I bought one bare bones, and then over a year I started getting all the accessories. And then there was a guy who had a Triptychon locally, just a box of Transformers, and he had a Triptychon with that extra piece that I needed. So I was like, well, hell, I just bought another Triptychon for that one piece. So now I have Triptychon in Dino mode, and he's displayed another one displayed in City mode with my Micromasters.
Excellent. You love it when a plan comes together, right? So that's okay. I would have no
It took me a year, and then I think later on, it was about 3 months later when they're like, oh, here's the new Platinum Edition reissue of Triptychon. I'm like,
nice.
All right, question number 4. What is your white whale? Say this is a Transformer figure. If you bought this one, you could be done collecting Transformers.
Okay, I've got 2. So the Fans Toys Phoenix is a particular favorite of mine that I drew over whenever I see it, whenever Mike's doing a view or a bots and shots, and I see him in the background there. Skyfire was always one of my. Yes, Skyfire. Yeah, Jetfire. Yes. So so that would be one, and then the Rolling Thunder, the SD Commander, the Prime based on the G.I. Joe
Nuclear Blast Commander.
It's I would be, that would probably be the piece if I could get my hands on that, either the regular or the camo version. and I think I could probably be done. I think.
I'm looking so forward to TFCon. I really have nothing I'm after. So other than hanging out with all the boys, I cannot wait to see some of these things in person.
Yeah.
All right. This will wrap up.
You know what?
Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say I was going to go ahead and get into
get to the next one. Yeah, well, I'm jealous of you guys being able to get into conventions now too, because that's still something that they're not even talking about right now. No toy shows, no garage sales, you can't go to flea markets. None of that stuff's a thing right now. So when I see people talking about TFCon and some other stuff, I'm like, man, I just go see people again, and talk in circles about things I like to talk about. So,
well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for you. I mean, you got one more month, so hopefully. And this one for us just came right out of the blue. Of course, everybody around here is just getting pissed off at it anyway, and it's just all of a sudden yesterday, CDC, hey, you got your shots, screw your mask. I was like, hell yeah! All right. I ain't going to depress you. Let's get back to some bots. Question number 5. What is your favorite Transformer character? Any fiction, any media?
Smokescreen. That hands down. He was my first Transformer I had as a kid, and I don't know if it's just the blue and the red and the white, just in any form that he's ever been in. If I see one, I have to get him. So Smokescreen is...
Except for the Armada smokescreen. That figure made no sense to me whatsoever.
Okay, with certain exceptions, exactly. So
I remember when I first saw it, I was like, okay, he's an orange crane and his name is Smokescreen. Y'all are reaching.
Yep. No.
All right, well, we'll scroll down. Now we're going to talk YouTube questions. Number 6. Now, you've already went over this with me earlier, but for those in the audience, what possessed you, a grown man, to do toy reviews on YouTube?
Simply enough, it was honestly, my kids bugged me for a number of years. Can we start a YouTube channel? I'm like, no, you should wait. And like I said earlier, I didn't know anything of the whole YouTube culture or anything like that. And I don't know what the very first thing I kind of Google search, but again, I'm just plugging him like crazy. But Mike, and he was the first sheet or whatever, and I was like, oh, that seems kind of interesting. Okay, you're talking about, really, you can sit there and make videos about action figures and other things. Maybe we'll try doing that. So I did some videos with the kids, and I figured, you know what, it's going to be theirs. I'll pop on one. I have no idea what I'm doing still. 2.5 years later, I'm surprised I'm able to put videos up without just wanting to put my fist through the computer screen sometimes, because I'm not super technical. The technology has just gone past me. So editing and whatever, my videos are one take straight through. I don't care if it's a 25-minute video. I don't stop. I don't edit it. I start from beginning to end with the ums, the ahs. The Canadian in me comes out. And then when COPPA hit, we were like, oh, what are we going to do now? And then the kids kind of on me, and 2.5 years later, I'm like, how did this happen? So, and I love every minute of it. The people I've met so far, and none of them have physically been a meeting, but to I mean, friends in multiple countries all over the world and what have you, it just blows my mind. So.
Yeah, it's funny, even when I'm doing the reviews now, you think you have a pattern set up, but I'm always forgetting something. I can't tell you how many Galvatrons I've learned about knee joints here lately. But it's funny, I look back on all my reviews when I go over the articulation, I always forget to do the arm lifting up this way. I don't know why, but every time I forget to do that one. Everybody's laughing. They say you, with the way your internet's jacking up right now, you sound like the computer from War Games.
Oh, really? The Whopper? Really? I sound like
Yeah.
the Whopper. Damn. So,
You have to say, "Shall we play a game?"
shall we play a game? There you go. So, there you go.
Or show your age again there too.
Just a bit. That's a bit. So at least there's a few of us that know what movie that is. So
All right, sir. Question number 7. What keeps inspiring you to get in front of the camera?
oh, well, unfortunately right now, like I said, reviews just aren't happening. The views just aren't there. I've never really been a guy to worry about the numbers. I've always said when we started the channel, I just wanted to monetize for the community posting. That was the only thing I was like, I want the community posting. I don't care about the couple of pennies I might possibly make, but the money I spend does not counterbalance to what is coming in or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I hit 1,000. I'm very happy with that. 1,200 subscribers later, things are still going, but I just kind of do it with the live streams right now. And it's more a community thing. I've talked about my depression, my anxiety, my OCD, and it really struck a chord. I know a lot of people go through a lot of stuff like that, and it struck a chord with a lot of my real core community from my channel. And I think not out of obligation, but I feel that I need them to check in with me, and that I need to check in with them regularly to make sure that we're doing okay. And especially with what's been happening the last year plus, and some people being in bubbles of one and not being able to see and interact with people and stuff like that. So the channel's become something I don't think I ever thought it was ever going to become.
I can agree with that wholeheartedly, especially with the little group that I became part of. We just have this tight-knit circle of YouTubers. I mean, we're on here talking. We're on Facebook, Instagram talking. We got each other's numbers. We can text each other. It's funny. And like you said, never in a million years would I imagine doing this, throwing a plastic robot on the screen and talking about it would lead to all of this.
Yes.
It just blows my mind.
Yep.
All right. Question number 8. And once again, we talked about this earlier. There are thousands of toy reviewers on YouTube. Let me try this again. Beer's kicking in. There are thousands of toy reviewers on YouTube. What makes you any different from the rest? First off, I have to ask where did you get Papa Gord, the Canadian Santa Claus, from?
So that's 100% Mike Case right there. I believe when he did the SITREP with you, he mentioned me in that he had this guy up in Canada as Papa Gord. So it became, I was the Canadian Santa Claus, because I would just send him mystery boxes just as appreciation for his content. And then it was the Canadian Santa Claus, and it was Papa Gord. Then it became Papa Gord, the Canadian Santa Claus, and it was like Papa G. So I'm just like, sure, let's just go with that. And then I lucked out. I had a great local guy that was looking for some Overwatch figures, and I was clearing some out, and he did the graphic for me. He did my introduction for me as well, and I'm like, I guess I'm kind of feeling like an actual proper YouTuber now. So I'm not just going on the internet and finding pictures to throw up on the page and go, yeah, okay, let's just do this thing. So yeah, because it's all Mike. And I mean, I know he can be modest at times or whatever, but we've developed such a great friendship, and we've never met yet face to face, but one day I'm hoping to be able to get out to California to meet him. But he's done more for me than anybody that I've met through YouTube, mentally and whatever. He came into my life at the perfect time. So I kind of feel that I kind of still need to be out in YouTube and kind of pay it forward, so to speak.
He is a great guy. Like I said, I've talked to him a couple times, and then luckily I've snagged a few chats. I always have a blast, kind of like with you that one day. We're just in the chat having a hoot, and I need to get and talk to him again. But he's got that bad time difference. Okay,
Yeah,
where we
that
are
three.
now.
Yeah, because so that 3 hours definitely makes for a bit of a gap at days. So for sure, yep.
Definitely a pain in the butt. You try to talk to somebody from the UK. The last guest I had from
Oh,
over there, he had to stay up till 2 a.m. in the morning to talk to me
yeah.
at 10.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 9, and you just touched base on this a little bit. What's your thoughts on the Transformers social community, YouTube, Facebook, and other than Mike Case? Do you have any special shout outs?
Well, I see Kato's in here, yourself. I think honestly, yours was probably the second channel that came up after Mike's, and I was just like, you know what? Why not? Let's see. I'm not a huge Transformers guy, but I do appreciate them a lot because they were a part of my childhood, and I will say, yeah, definitely Kato, Inu Tabi, those guys as well, for being younger channels at the same time. If I'm looking for a quick review or something like that, you guys come up in my stuff all the time. So I'm like, okay, great. I'll put that one in my save. I'll put that one in my save. Ooh, Hot Rod. I kind of like Hot Rod. Okay, I'm kind of curious to see what's going on. I'm belong to Transformers and such on Facebook. I don't ever post because I just like seeing what everybody else is getting because my Star Wars is my thing, but I'm in awe of some people's collections out there and seeing some of the fantastic pieces and how Transformers have evolved from the original G1s to the masterpiece that that we see today. That Unicron, for God's sakes, like you couldn't have told the 11-year-old me or the 13 or 14-year-old, yeah, look at that. I would have never thought that would have ever come to fruition ever in my entire life. So
Can you believe that I've had that in here for a month? Have you not opened it yet?
I have a hard time when I get mail and I'm like, oh, I got to wait 2 days until I can open it up on a live stream. I get the sweats all the time. So.
All right, last one. Do you have any channel goals for yourself? And where can our viewers find you? This is where you have a chance to brag about your channel. And as I said earlier, a link to your channel is in the description of this video.
Oh, good God. I always have such a hard time. I was never one to be out in front of the public eye ever. So every time I do something like this, if it's a live stream, if it's a video, it's outside of my comfort zone. And I would say being closer to 50 than I would prefer not to be, but it's such a weird, and it is a wonderful feeling. You get the nerves, you get the sweats. It's almost like asking a girl out for the first time or something like that when the camera goes on and it's like, and I think my channel, I've been referred to kind of as a cult following because, again, I don't have a huge amount of subscribers, but everybody that either has heard of me or has come across me, they're like, I've heard of you. That's all the views that you're the subscribers you have right now. I thought you would have been in the tens of thousands. I appreciate that, but no, I like how small the channel is. My community is very tight knit. There's usually at least the same 30 to 40 people that are in there. Again, touching base with one another. We know about each other's family, if somebody's sick or going through some stuff or what have you. It's like I said, it's something that again I never figured was going to happen ever. As far as a goal, I'd like to see. I was hoping to shoot for 2,000 subs by the end of the year. I think because how slow things have gotten for me up here right now, that that goal might be a little out of reach. So if I can maybe pull 1,500 by the end of the year or so, I'd be ecstatic with that because, I'm able to interact with everybody on my streams and stuff still right now without, like I had Robo, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn too much, but I had Robo from the Fwoosh on my channel on a live stream, and he did over 3 hours with me.
Wow.
I honestly couldn't tell you a damn thing that we talked about the entire time. I haven't watched it back or any of that right now, but I was like, because I felt the guys in the chat were like, you should see if Robo will come on. I'm like, yeah, sure. So I, on live stream, got on my phone and I sent him a message. I'm like, okay, we'll see what's going on with that. And he responded back, and a few weeks later he came on. I was like, holy jumping, that's over 100,000+ subscribers, and he come and do my little channel. But
that's how I felt when Stan Bush agreed to hop on mine.
Yeah, that, man, I've enjoyed that, between him being on your channel, Kato having him on. I'm just like, wow, like that's a guy that he's, I was speechless watching all those interviews.
I was on there for a half hour with him before we got started, so all my giddiness got out.
No, that's just incredible. Like, I don't know what else to say with the channel, honestly. I'm on Instagram at Papa_Gord, the CSC or whatever, I believe. Twitter, I'm there. I don't really tweet very often because I don't know. But it's at audio.
Twitter. I hate Twitter.
Yeah,
Twitter's a cesspool.
Yeah. There's a few guys. Some of the UK guys use Twitter quite a bit, so that's where I get a lot of messages from them through that form. And then Facebook, I do have a Facebook page. I'm pretty regular on updating. I just don't actually really Facebook because, again, it's just, oh, look at the plate of food I don't care to see what people are making to eat for dinner. So,
well, I show off Transformers, I show off me. So that's what I do.
See, and that's okay. I'll show off. We got a new kitten at May the 4th, so I've been putting kitten pictures up on my Instagram lately. So, I don't know. It's a little odd, but yeah, that's where I'm at. My live stream still, I live stream every Sunday night at 8:00. When my work schedule is normal, I usually do a Wednesday stream at like midnight to help out for the West Coast people, so it's not too early for them, but then it's maybe a little later for the East Coasters. But that's been kind of fluctuating a little bit here and there because, again, I work in the school board, so no kids are in school right now, so work is very slow. So my schedule has changed a little bit, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I seem to pop up in a lot of other people's streams here and there, and like I said, it's a great thing. There's been some fantastic people out there, a great community. And I wouldn't do it. I don't think I'd do it differently anymore. So I think this has just been a fantastic ride so far. I can't wait to see where it's going to go.
Excellent. Well, that pretty much wraps up my 10 questions. And usually I like to keep these at about an hour. So we've got 20 minutes left. If anybody in the chat wants to ask anything, we'll go with you guys for a while. And excellent. I saw something right off. This is from Inu Tabi. What do you think about the Bad Batch? Have you watched that?
Bad Batch. I've seen the first 2 episodes. I'm optimistic, I guess. I want to see where it's going. So the Omega character, I think her voice is just weighing on me a little bit. That New Zealand accent is just, but so far the first 2 episodes have been great. I think as long as Dave Filoni has his fingers in Star Wars, we should be safe. So I think that's a safe answer. So
I haven't seen it yet. I keep forgetting about it. I am stuck on HBO Max right now watching Boardwalk Empire. I've just been tearing through that. I think I'm on my last season. Got like 5 episodes left. So if my reviews have slowed down, it's because I'm watching these gangsters from the 20s, Tommy gun people.
Haven't watched.
Uh-oh. He needs to feed his hamster.
I tell you, damn internet.
That's killing you tonight.
I apologize, guys. Usually my connection's a heck of a lot better.
It must be because we're crossing the border.
I tell you, I voiced my.
Optination Review asks, what is the best website to... Optination says, what's the best website to get G1s at? Well, for me, it's always been eBay, Mercari, or Facebook Marketplace. That's pretty much it.
Mercari. Yeah, we don't have Mercari in Canada. We've got Kijiji, so I think it's pretty well the same, almost the same thing. So yeah, I would agree with eBay for sure, especially G1 stuff. Yeah.
I'm down to I have every American Decepticon release, and I only like the Headmasters and Autobots from all of the American Autobot releases. But man,
Mm-hmm.
those are the ones that cost the most, especially those latter year Headmasters.
Yeah, those were some of actually my favorite cartoons. I loved when they got into doing the Headmasters and the Target Masters and that type of thing. And I was like, oh, it would have been great to kind of see after that season was kind of done. But I love to see the re-releases with the repro boxes and stuff like that. I mean, you'd almost think it should be a cheaper thing, but I can't believe how much money they charge for those G1 reissues at Walmart now. I'm just like, that's crazy. Those weren't even that much when we were growing up. So
man, and it was hard for me not to buy those because as big of a G1er as I am, I have those figures already. And being a Transformers fan, you're already buying so many repaints. I mean, the Seekers, the Prowl mold. I mean, not Prowl.
Yeah.
Sideswipe mode. I think these are my 7th versions of that mold.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I just had to draw the line, especially because the thing was I want this just for the box. So I'm not spending the $20 on just the box.
Yes. Yeah. They were going for, I think the Headmasters were I want to say they were $49.99 Canadian up here for those reissue Headmasters. And then to see them on the third guys, scalpers selling the damn things, and they're asking $90 to $100 for them. They're going double. And I'm like, no, sorry, not happening.
You know, that is a hard question. But for me, because I grew up on Marvel Comics, I have to go with Marvel. I mean, the cartoon was great, but the comics just fleshed out so many more characters. I mean, if it wasn't for Marvel Comics, we wouldn't have the epic backstory of Scorponok and Bludgeon and characters like that the cartoons never really touched on. And though the cartoon's so cool, they still maintain that kitty atmosphere to them.
Yeah.
But the comics grew with the audience. I mean, there's a big difference. You read the first 10 issues of Marvel G1 compared to the last 10 issues of Marvel G1. But so I got to go Marvel on that.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't read a lot of new stuff or whatever, but yeah, I think from what I can recall, I mean, there's always more areas you could go with. So, and instead of just whatever, the Decepticons are here, they need Energon so they can get back to Cybertron and da-da-da-da. But the books, yeah, just to get in and they can get more intricate details and all that stuff, I think was fantastic.
And Inu Tabi brings up a good point. You look at Shockwave in the cartoon. He was a lapdog for Megatron. He's a bootlicker. Mm-hmm. Shockwave in Marvel Comic, who is a completely different character. Yes. He kicked Megatron's ass, took over leadership of the Decepticons. Mm-hmm. And then you had a character like Ratbat, who took over leadership of the Decepticons.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Then you had Grimlock, who was more or less a psychopath in the comics. And then he got dumbed him down again later on.
That's right.
He took over leadership of the Autobots, and he just snapped. He was willing to kill kids to get Blaster during that one issue. So,
yeah, you're hitting the nerves now. Now you're gonna put me down a rabbit hole. I'm gonna have to start looking this stuff up again now. So,
here we go. Where we are. Nope, not that one. Issue where Scorponok fights Shockwave. That's the one thing too with Marvel. All the characters were the same size. Yeah. Scorponok could go toe-to-toe with Power Master Prime, who could also go toe-to-toe with Fortress Maximus. I would love to have like Voyager-sized versions of Scorponok and like Fortress Maximus, just that Marvel Comics style.
Yep.
There was another question I was going to, okay, here we go. What was the most expensive Transformer you bought besides Unicron? Well, not to make you jealous, but Unicron was not bought by me. That was sent to me by a subscriber who sent it to me because he's out of town, and he said he'd rather me have it and keep it and review it or whatever until he can get it. So, which
Wow.
was very surprising for me. But I think my most expensive would probably be my Fort Max.
Okay. All right. Mine is probably the Studio Series Grimlock. That would be my most expensive one. I said I haven't gone. I started getting into a little bit here and there, but I don't have anybody. I lean on Mike quite a bit, especially when it comes to Optimus Prime stuff. And I don't. If it's something I see, and if I can't get a hold of him right away, then I second guess myself because I'm not super educated with a lot of the MP and the Wei Zhang and all that stuff or whatever. So I've missed out on some really nice pieces. Computron's always been my favorite combiner, and I'd love to have him represented in my collection somewhere. But if you got an extra, send them over. So, but I'd love that would probably, I would say if I was going to add a new piece, that would probably be maybe my next one, is to find a good Computron. I think maybe. Yeah.
Well, Nick, you know the answer to this question. Overlord of the Japanese G1 continuity.
Oh, Overlord. Okay, yeah. I'll go with Overlord. So I do know that one. So yeah.
All right, here we go. There was one for you, Papa. Let me find it.
Nope.
Here we are. From Fire Talks. What lines do you collect?
Oh,
I see Star Wars there.
It's majority. So I mean, Hasbro's got me by the short and curlies because they own so many bloody properties. So I am right now a figure completionist for Star Wars The Black Series. I've got at least one of every figure that's been put out so far, including the convention exclusives and whatever have you. I've got, oh, good Lord, a little bit of Batman. I've always been a big Batman guy. I was always more DC than Marvel, but I mean, the Marvel films have definitely swung me the other way because the DC stuff is just an abomination, except for Batfleck. I really enjoy Batfleck. I wish he would have got his own movie. But
now DC animated rocks.
Animated is great. Yes. That I will give you fair point on that. So what else? Masters of the Universe. I've been getting back into the Origins line. So I found Faker and Evil Lynn, that light-skinned version or whatever. So, that's just a thing of beauty, I tell you. I'll never find a flock one up here ever. So, G.I. Joe classified. So far, I'm complete except for Major Blood. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go with that line because that's just been a nightmare to find that stuff. And the Studio Series. I've really loved what they put out. Tron. I collect some Tron. It's one of my favorite films. Pineapple on Pizza. Oh, Ionicus. It depends. It depends on what kind of. If I've had enough alcohol, maybe the pineapple would be better. So
my new favorite Mexican dishes at our local restaurants have pineapple and chorizo in them. I love pineapple.
Ooh, with the chorizo. No, okay, I give you a pineapple and chorizo. Ham. I'm not a big ham guy, but chorizo.
That's because you call it bacon up there.
Well, back bacon's a little bit different than regular bacon, and I don't even get regular bacon. The wife gets me to eat low-fat turkey bacon now. Like, what a shame, I tell you.
I would love New Pretenders, and I think they could do them easily. They could do them, and not those little tiny Power of the Primes ones we got. There was another one. Somebody asked a question about G1. If I could find it again. Nobody asked anything, and then they all hit at once.
Of course.
Somebody was talking about G1. I mean, what's the appeal of G1? Like buying the toys? Is it just the nostalgia of it? Or for me, it's a combination of the nostalgia and still some of those G1 gimmicks are awesome, and we've never seen them redo those. I mean, when the Titan Returns came out with their Headmaster gimmick, it didn't hold a candle to the original G1. The Titan Returns, you'd sit there and struggle to pop the heads in. G1, you pop it in, you got the little tumblers that spun. You know, there's just so much interactivity with the G1 figures. And plus, I mean, you hated them back in the day, but the Pretenders, a really cool gimmick. The Power Masters, all I loved it. I think it's awesome. I love revisiting those old characters and figures.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing, like, with Transformers, you're always going to get your Optimus Primes, you're always going to get your Megatrons. It's the same with Star Wars. You're always going to get another friggin' Luke Skywalker, even if you don't want another Luke Skywalker, or they're going to take that old Stormtrooper mold and they're going to repaint the crap out of it and shove it down your throat until you're finally like, I can't take another damn Stormtrooper. But to see Skylinks, like that last Skylinks that came out, I don't have that and I want that. Like, I thought was a great looking piece. Omega Supreme, like to see some of these ones that have maybe, I know I'm just preaching right to everything you've got sitting beside you probably. So. But
he's been sitting there waiting on his repro labels forever.
See, and I love that's what probably my favorite thing is to watch your stuff, to see, taking something like this and then putting the repros on there, and what a bloody difference a sticker set makes. Like, holy crap. So I really enjoy those videos a lot.
Thank you. All right, what else? What else am I missing? Updated Monstructor. That'd be nice. That's a character they haven't touched since '89 when he came out.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those ones you ask, and I'll pull him out.
There you go.
I'm always afraid to touch him, but still. And I've got so much stuff on pre-order right now. I collect NECA too. I'm waiting on my Part 7 Jason figure. I love Friday the 13th.
My brother-in-law is a massive Michael Myers. He's any film format, you name, Laserdisc, Betamax, whatever, he's got all of it. So I don't mind that the 80s horror stuff is okay. It just never, I don't know. It's all right. I think if I had to go, I would prefer Jason over Michael Myers. So a Holy Grail.
Yeah, and this is not Transformers. This is your figures.
I wonder. I'll see if I can get them. So
I remember I saw you lazy. I just couldn't find your question again.
So this is my one and only hot toy. This is Commander Cody, who is my absolute favorite troop commander. I've already got his thing on. He comes with a bunch of different holograms of Jedi and Darth Sidious and what have you. He's got his helmet. I mean, that face sculpt alone is just gorgeous. And this was a gift from my Uncle Mike and Brian, TK62870. He's a member of the 501st out west. So they chipped in together and had this guy sent to me. So he would probably be in the coffin with me when I take my last breath. So, and I love him. I want to review him, but I'm still very nervous about moving him a lot because there is a few little just delicate pieces on him. But that would be my grail. As
a pointer, I reviewed Monstructor, and I told him flat out. I said, "Listen, this is a figure that I have him." Of course, when I was buying Monstructor, I pieced him together, so I've got a lot of the little individual bots. And I just told him in the review, I said, "This is a rare figure. This is a figure that I'm not going to transform, but I'm going to go into details." I pulled up pictures and stuff, and it still was a fairly popular review. And your viewers should understand that. If they're wanting to see a Monstructor video, they're going to understand, okay, that figure is plagued with GPS. He's probably not going to do this. And I told him flat out, listen, I'm not just transforming this on camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, without a doubt. There will be a day that I will really, I've ordered a second one. I don't want to go too deep with the Hot Toys line because that is an expensive rabbit hole to fall into. So we'll see. I have ordered another one to come next year. It'll be my second, and we'll go from there. But yeah, some of these things are just, I don't know. You look at the stuff that we had growing up, and just to see how it's evolved over almost 40 years, really. And again, you go to the He-Man stuff on how well this looks almost identical to when we were kids. Just they put articulation on it because we couldn't bend them at the knees or bend them at the elbows before. Like, just something simple like that, man.
Thank you, Lazy Jedi. I appreciate it. He's the one that asked, is G1 just nostalgia for us old guys or something more?
Oh, I think it's always going to be nostalgia, but there's always going to be just that little bit more there. So regardless, we've all seen some abysmal stuff that's happened to some of our favorite lines. You know, there's some Transformers that are just gack. Same with Star Wars, you know, Power of the Force figures, because everybody's like, I got to buy all these up because they're going to be worth something, and they're worth less than what you paid for them. So, you know what?
That line was so funny because every figure was just jacked up like they'd been hitting the roids.
Like, how does a stormtrooper get in that armor, for God's sakes? And Princess Leia, if I came across her in a dark alley, I would have turned and just run the other way. I've never seen her that buff before. So.
Now, what's funny is
Carrie Fisher.
I may have told you before, but half of this collection room used to be Star Wars, and then I just went gangbusters with the Transformers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've probably seen over the course of my videos how everything's kind of shifted away.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like I said, whenever going to like Walmart or Toys R Us, I wouldn't go down action figures because I honestly didn't really know that was still kind of a thing. Like when my son was growing up, it would be, you know, like the Fisher Price stuff, Imaginext, and like the little play sets and Hot Wheels, and then once he was old enough to get into Lego, so we kind of bypassed a lot of that. And then again, finding YouTube and finding other people that talk about this, I was like, really? And my first 3 Star Wars figures were probably 3 of the worst ones to come out. I paid $5 each for them, and it's led to, I mean, again, you can only see a small fraction of what's behind me now, but it's turned into just, holy Jesus, how did this happen? And it's only been, I've only been collecting 3 years. 3 years. That's it for me. So, crazy. Ugh. That's it. I got to get him up and show him. This has been the troublemaker who's been driving me nuts for the last hour. So, hey, there you go, buddy.
Oh, Kit Kat.
That's it.
All I see is a brown blur.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
Oh yeah, here we go. The NECA Goliath. I agree. I've got him pre-ordered.
Ooh.
Of course, everything I have from pre-order right now, nothing's budging. Though I know glass not due for a while yet. Yeah, I can't wait for that figure. Of course, you know they're going to do the other ones.
Yes. The only thing with that Goliath, I wish they would have done the wings.
Oh, the cape?
Yes. Yeah.
Where the claws hook like this?
Yeah. Yeah. That needs it. It needs it. That's the only thing, just to push that figure just that little bit more.
Oh, it's NECA. You know they're going to come up with an ultimate version next year that'll do that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Convention exclusive, or it'll glow in the dark or something weird. So yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be a big line because there's so many characters. Not only the mainline gargoyles, you got the villains and the robots and the.
Well, I see the Ninja Turtles line. I was like, I'm so glad that I avoided either the movie stuff or the animated stuff, because seeing what people are going through to try to track that stuff down, it's great looking, but I just like, I can't. That's just a line I had to just kind of admire from the distance.
Well, unfortunately, I'm here safe and sound behind my keyboard, but I was never that into turtles, so I could care less. I just never. I watched the cartoon, but they just never appealed to me. It must have hit just at that time when I don't know. I was getting out all that stuff.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I like the first film, and then after like the second one, the third, I'm like, yeah, you know, it's kind of neat to see that they were able to pull it off. I still like the look of them in the first film to the updates that they've done in the last few years recently or whatever. But yeah, they never really struck a solid chord. That was a neat concept anyways, and it's worked for many, many years. So I'd like to see an updated Mask. If somebody would do Mask again, I would probably clear out a part of my collection to put Mask back in there. So
yeah, I'm really surprised that one hadn't taken off yet, especially the way everybody talks about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Leave the size alone. Don't make it bigger. Like, just, you know, put it out there. Maybe better articulation, and maybe you can do a better, you know, actual faces now with the technology that's out there now. But
you know they're going to nerf the gimmicks. That's what ticks me off.
yeah,
Like we said earlier, you can't beat the 80s gimmicks. They just don't hold a candle to what we've got now.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I look at figures like I just reviewed this guy, even him from early 2000, loaded with gimmicks. And you paid like $20 for this guy.
Yeah.
The launching rockets, the flip out weaponry, beautiful bot mode, beautiful vehicle mode. And now you got a $30 figure.
Yeah.
He looks good, but he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Don't be hating on us. He's a great figure, but just
yes. No, and that's true. And that's where I think the ending of my Star Wars completionist is coming to an end now, because that's the exact same thing that Hasbro's doing right now. Is you look at Marvel Legends, you know, the price point is the same. Sometimes they come with extra hands. You look at Star Wars, it's a guy in a box with usually a gun. You look at the Power Rangers. Power Rangers, you get the helmet, you get the unmasked head, you usually get 2 or 4 sets of hands, you get a couple of different weapons, and it's the same price as the Star Wars line. And it's easier to find, and the holy Jesus, it was I that's where I don't understand. And then Hasbro puts $38 price tags on exclusive figures because you can only get them at certain stores. So they've killed that part of the business for me. So Hasbro.
Here's something else that hurt. I showed you this guy earlier. I'm going to do this comparison in my video, but here you've got Earthrise or Kingdom Optimus Prime, customized, of course. But this is your $50 leader class figure.
Yes.
In 2005, here's your $50 leader class figure.
Yeah.
You know, with electronics and firing missiles and cool sounds.
Yeah.
And it's just going to get worse and worse. You know, it's going to be Legends class. They're going to be running us $20 before too long.
Like I love how, like, some of the transformations that are out there nowadays for the Hasbro line, they're ingenious, but just, yeah, like you said, with the side swipe molds and stuff like that, like, oh, that he's yellow, he'll be dark blue. Let's throw some purple on that guy, maybe a little bit of green for him. Exactly. So, you know, you got Red Alert, you got just, oh man, but it's Hasbro. They'll milk the molds until they can't milk them anymore, and then maybe we'll see a reissue in a couple of years saying, oh, you know, I don't know.
And then we run out and buy it. So.
Exactly. We're just enabling. So, yes.
It's like I had no intention of getting either one of these. And then I saw a review and I was like, well, this one looks really good. I love the paint apps. Yeah. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. If I'm going to get this one, I might as well get this one to show it off and compare. And I try to say that there's a lot of stuff. I try not to buy toys specifically to review, but then there's sometimes you can't help it. But that being said, all these Masters of the Universe figures I bought, they're all still in the package. I haven't reviewed one of those. I bought the entire figure wave about 3 months ago. And then I bought Battle Cat. And then I found the Sky Sled on clearance. And then just random luck of the draw finding this guy. And they're all still in the box.
Yeah. With the Masters of the Universe stuff, I found the He-Man, the Skeletor, Man-at-Arms, and Evelyn. When the first wave dropped, I bought all of them except for Evelyn because I wasn't sure about it. And then as soon as I got to the parking lot, I cracked one out. I went, oh my God, you can bend the arms, you can bend the knees. Maybe I should go back. So I went back in. Evelyn was gone. Never saw Beastman. I never saw Tila. Orko, any of that stuff. So then it was that point again. How can I collect something if I can't find it? And if I'm not going to pay $45 to $60 for a $15 figure. So I sold a few things off. I sent Battle Cat to Mike because he was looking for one. And I'm like, that's
oh my God, my Walmart has 20 of them.
And now I see them all the time now, but when they first came out, so I've got Battle Cat, I've got the Battle Armor Damage He-Man, and Skeletor, and then now those Faker and Evelyn that I just got. I pre-ordered Castle Grayskull. That'll be early next month to come in for me. And now I'm gonna now I need Man at Arms again. Now I got to find Orko. Oh, Triclops has been out. Oh, Trapjaws. Oh, so it's just I've opened myself up to just issues. So I think G.I. Joe is going to suffer, and I think Star Wars is going to slow down, and I think Masters of the Universe, as long as I can get it, is going to be my priority for the time being, I think. Now,
my luck with Masters of the Universe, there's only certain characters I like. I mean, if this wave comes out and here's this guy, I mean, I don't care about him. I never liked him in the original show. I'm not going to go buy him now, but, I'm getting the mainline ones and the more popular ones, stuff like that. Yes. You looking forward to Kevin Smith's new Masters of the Universe?
I am a big Kevin Smith fan. I've met him a few times, and I've got a bunch of his Funkos and whatever. So I'm all in for Kevin Smith, regardless of how goofy any of his stuff ever gets. It looks great so far. So
the animation just looks exactly like the animation from the 2000 series.
Yes, yeah.
I'm down with that. My biggest concern, and I don't want to offend anybody in the chat, I'm really hoping this show isn't woke. I don't want any of that crap in my Masters of the Universe. I want barbarians and sci-fi clashing.
Yep. No, I hope so. I hope so. I think the first thing that kind of concerned me when they first announced it was going to happen was the fact that, what's his name, Robert Oppenheimer, whatever, the guy who does Skeletor's voice, wasn't voicing Skeletor, and that Mark Hamill is voicing Skeletor, and I was like, you broke my brain. I don't understand what, because that's such an iconic. I can just hear that cackle in my brain all the time. I love Mark Hamill when he does voiceover. Don't get me wrong. I think his Joker is phenomenal, but I was like, I would have still preferred the original guy. So
I have a feeling we're going to hear a lot of Joker in Skeletor, because anytime Mark Hamill does a character, you can always tell Joker.
Always. Yeah. I think once everybody knew that was him, any other voice, you can always just hear that little bit of Mr. J just sneaking in the background just a bit. So,
why, hello, Papa.
Yeah. Hey, excellent.
I found out I could do a Joker the other day. I was messing around with Dylan, and I was trying to do a Dinobot voice, because he gets cracked up because I'll do these voices and I'll play with him. And I was trying to do Dinobot, and it came out more like Joker. And I was like, holy crap, I can do the Joker.
I like that. That is good. So, hey, if the Transformer reviews really starts to soften, you go stick a resume over at DC there, and
we'll see. I haven't nailed the laugh yet.
Yeah, that's a little coarse and crazy for sure. Yeah. Mad respect for any of those voiceover guys. I tell you.
There we go. Jay Lee hit the nail on the head, because I remember we were watching Spider-Man, the animated series on Disney Plus, and Hobgoblin. And I was like, that's the Joker.
Yes,
that's his voice.
I didn't know, and I just rewatched that before. I think it's been taken off of Disney Plus again or some damn thing, but
it's Disney. Who knows?
Oh, good God! They really know how to not monopolize franchises the right way. That's the one thing I got to say with Disney. So they got it all, but they just don't know what they don't know what they've got. So
yeah, it worries me with what they've got Fox now. But, they did great with Marvel. I mean, I had my doubts, but they did great with Marvel. I don't want to get into Star Wars. I like the shows. I hate what they did to the movies. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Return of the Jedi was the end.
Thank you. Yeah, I believe me, I'm in much agreement with that. I didn't mind Episode 7 because it was a nice way to reintroduce Star Wars to the younger fans. 8, I don't even... that's such a sore spot with me. And then 9, I liked a lot of the visuals. I would say that the last trilogy was visually stunning, and that one shot in Episode 8 when they went to the hyper jump and went through that big starship towards the end
that
of the
was
film.
cool.
Wow, I was just like, "Woo, you can do that!" But the rest of it, I was just like, "Yeah, you know what? You should have maybe thought of the story before you did the movies." But but yeah, I totally agree. I don't mind the prequels, not my favorites. Solo, not bad considering it had to follow Episode 8 in order of release. But Rogue One, I could sit there and watch Rogue episodes 4, 5, and 6 anytime.
All right. Well, we are at an hour and 9 minutes, and I kept you longer than I told you I would. So I am going to wrap. Well, I'm going to wrap this up because it's 11 o'clock now, and I want to get some sleepy time in and enjoy my final day before the weekend kicks. So
yes,
and I am so sorry your internet was such a jack off tonight.
I tell you, this is and that's always the case, right? I'm looking forward to it, and then all of a sudden, so and I hardly anybody's even on.
On the plus side, most people don't even watch these; they listen to them. So there you go.
Okay, that's all right. I'm not all that great to look at too, and I don't know why I ever put myself out in front of the camera since day one, but then I couldn't go back. So you had to get used to this.
I've got a little background in being in front of the camera, so it doesn't bother me a bit. Whereas, like I said, the hat thing. All right, well, guys, please, if you have not subscribed to Papa Gord, his link to his channel is in the description of this video. He has just recently hit 1,200 subscribers, I believe. And if you haven't subscribed to me yet, I'm at last count 1,025 from 10,000 subscribers, and I would love to be able to hit that by TFCon in October. So for everybody in the chat, I really appreciate you hanging out with us. Papa, thank you so much for hanging out with me as well. And that's pretty much it. Papa, any last words?
Have a good one, eh? So,
hey.
This was fantastic. You made my week, so I hope everybody enjoys your Sunday. Hopefully, I see some new faces in some of the streams, and then definitely have to get Mr. Patriot Prime to coming out on my channel when I can get my stupid Wi-Fi.
Just let me know, buddy. I'll be more than happy to. All right, guys, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to click that bell icon to get notified when I upload new reviews. My next one will be Cybertron Optimus Prime with his awesome 90s or early 2000 sound effects. Guys, have a great night. Hooah! And in broadcast.